This talk now wants to inspire you and give you new ideas on how to become more mindful when creating content to be accessible for all others, because it should be a norm and not a convenience. So yes, we can include everyone, and I'm delighted to introduce Amber Galloway, the world-renowned sign language interpreter specializing in music. She has over 20 years experience, interpreted hundreds of concerts, has been featured in Rolling Stone, Oprah, the New York Times, and Vibe magazine referred to her as the Jay-Z of hip-hop sign language. Yes, she rocks. And Amber, I think this is your stage in a second. Just want to tell you, don't forget, because for this session and the next one, which is like a double session, they are open for questions which will be answered at the end of the second session. So please write your questions, if you like, in the second session. I will check it out at the end, at any case. Amber, please. The stage is yours.
Hi, I'm a sign language interpreter that specializes in music interpreting. You're probably wondering, why is a deaf person attending a concert if they can't hear it? But I want you to know that deaf and hard of hearing people have varying degrees of hearing loss. They also have different accents, much like spoken ones. Some of us talk with our voice out loud, some of us do not. Some of us use sign language, and some of us do not. But none of these approaches are better than another, just as no one language is superior to another. There is a doctor who's a professor of neuroradiology. He conducted multiple studies involving deaf people's experience with music, and he has found that when they feel the vibrations of music, it affects the auditory cortex. So this is what's also cool. For all people who listen to music, studies have found that music can raise the dopamine and lower cortisol in the brain when engaging the auditory cortex. So that means that deaf people can experience the same chemical reaction. In our deaf and hard of hearing community, oftentimes we go about accessing sounds and music in a different way. Sometimes in ways you couldn't even imagine. I have a friend who literally cuts her hair a specific length to better feel vibrations of sounds. How many of you started to think about your hair? You know, I was born hearing until the age of 25 when I contracted spinal meningitis working as an interpreter on a college campus, which has now left me with significant hearing loss. And just know that there's so much more to experiencing music than just hearing it. Our community of deaf and hard of hearing people have learned how to navigate their way in this hearing-centric society to gain access to the same experiences. My job is to be the bridge between the hearing world and the deaf world, bringing the lyrics and music to life in a way that makes the experience accessible. You too can bridge those gaps by proactively providing access to your content. Take a moment and just think about the songs that bring about certain emotions. Nostalgia, excitement, love, sadness, healing. Deaf and hard of hearing, like myself, deserve and want access to the very same thing, to the beauty that is music. I believe music is for all humanity and it doesn't discriminate. Imagine wanting to attend a concert with your family or your friends, and you're told the burden is on you to provide your own access. Or you simply will not have access to that experience. Members in our deaf and hard of hearing community are a force to fight for our basic human right to communication in every aspect of our daily lives. How many of you can raise your hand right now and say that you have fought for your human right to communication? Obtaining an interpreter for music concerts and festivals is sometimes so difficult and overwhelming that we give up. We don't purchase the tickets. That's hundreds of thousands of music fans that are not getting to experience your message, your music, your beauty, your content. We also want and need access very differently. So please, please be mindful. Ask us and listen to us. Knowing that when you create a budget line for access, this is proactively thinking about how to become more inclusive and in return, welcoming an entire community.
After today, we hope then in whatever small or large space of earth and society you occupy, wherever you can make a difference, that you will join us and be a part of our movement. Thank you.
Wow, that was wonderful. I'm so sorry that I cannot answer. I understood overwhelming. That was overwhelming. It was wonderful. I learned a lot. So this is great. I hope that everybody also here in Togetherness could also get more access to make more access. So thank you so much, Amber.